I'm going to show you how to set up the Juki 1541S in fast motion for the people that are fast paced and don't want all of the steps broken down super slow. So if you're a fast paced learner, watch this video because it's going to be super simple and we're going to show you how to set this machine up very fast. Hey guys, it's David from Gigi's Fabric Shop, home to Juki and Junkies. And in today's video, it's going to be very different, very different than any other video we've ever done. I am going to be setting up a Juki 1541S pretty much from scratch. I just, the table's assembled and the motor's on there and that's it. And I just kind of want to do it with no cuts and just real and just try to do it as fast as I can to show you how easy it is. And also maybe me just doing it in fast motion is all you need to set this up. So if it is, I hope you enjoy this video, or if you just want to watch it and show your husband, hey babe, you can do this, you've got this. This is going to be the video for you. If you want to watch this in a little bit slower motion and more cuts and more visuals, we're going to put a link in the video, in the description of this video below, so you can watch the, more professional setup video. But this one is just going to be like a raw video of me setting it up. You might not get all the angles, but I'm going to try to teach you as fast as I can as I set this thing up. And we're going to try to do it super fast. So let's start the timer now. Timer starts now. So Kylie is my editor, if you didn't already know that. She's my fiance. And she's going to be editing this video, and she's going to put a timer up during the whole length of this video, and there's going to be no cuts. So this video is going to be just like real life, okay? So if there's issues with the setup, you're going to see the issues, which is pretty crazy because sometimes there's issues. So the first thing I'm going to do is take out the box, put it up here, push the machine box over there, and I'm going to get started. So first thing I want to do is take out the drain pan, or the oil catch pan, I guess you could say, and I'm going to go ahead and put that into the area in which it's going to be for the rest of its life, which is right here. And I'm going to push it nice and level. So I want this metal piece of the pan level with the wood right here. So you can see it's pushed all the way back level there. And then I also want to make sure that these there's 3 holes for the nails. All 3 of those are on wood. I want to make sure this pan has a slight slant back so that the oil wants to drain to the reservoir. Looks good, perfect. One thing that I forgot before we get started on that is we have our oil reservoir can, which we have to mount onto the pan first. Almost went backwards there. Okay, so we're gonna unscrew that. We're gonna open up this metal washer here. Open up all these bolts, and we're gonna undo the nut. Just like that. Paper washer comes off. So it should be metal washer, paper washer, and then it should be plastic. Just like that. Metal washer, boom. And then it should be the rubber piece like that. And you could probably put these, the other way too, but this is just the way I do it. Seems to work. So you're going to just repeat this process with all of these screws. And this is, stuff that takes time. And I want you guys to, oh my gosh, had a hairball. I want you guys to comment down below, click off the video, pause it real quick, and tell me what the time is you think I'm going to set this machine up. I'm going to say, I think a record would probably be like 30 minutes, but I've never really timed myself. So we're going to see with no cuts how long it's going to take me. I'm going to guess, my guess is 25 minutes. And I'm talking like a full setup. Like this thing's going to have oil in it by the time we're done. So there we go. We got all that done. I'm going to tilt this back this way. Make sure those screws don't fall out. Actually, I'm going to go like that. I'm going to line them up with this pan. Just like that. Just like that. And then tricky part about doing things fast is sometimes you do things twice. But we're gonna try to do it fast and efficient. All right, so now I'm doing paper washer, metal nut, just like that. Just tighten it down hand tight for now. Do the same thing. And so, fun fact, we're actually setting up this machine for our floor model because we keep selling our floor model. Because everybody that buys one of these things just wants to get it already set up, and I'm a nice guy, so when you come over here and you're looking at them and you're like, man, I really want that one, it's already set up and ready to go, I end up giving it to them. So, but this one I don't think I'm going to give up because I keep doing it. And this is the perfect spec. I got the casters, I got the needle positioner, I've got everything. So also this is a setup video for the needle positioner too. The other video I did was the standard servo motor. So that one is technically a little bit different, but it's not really. So once I get these down, I'm just going to actually pretty much just hand tighten these, and you can go back and tighten them up a little bit more, but honestly you can get these tight enough where they need to be with just your hand. So I'm just tightening that nut and holding down the Phillips head on the back side with my finger, just like so. You want it to be pretty snug because if it's not, then it could leak a little bit, but that looks pretty good. So that's done. So now we're actually putting it back on here, and get a close-up of this. I think this is important. So when you put this through here, you want this whole side to obviously be facing forward because that's where your knee lift lever goes through, and you want this open side over there. So pushing it in between the wood like this, pushing it back so it's nice and level, pushing it up, flush. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to find my nails, which are going to be in the bag of all the hardware. And in that, in the meantime of finding that, I'll just drop that there. There's the nails. Push that open, drop them there. So I like to use like an upholstery hammer, but I can't find it, so I'm using this one. So the biggest thing is making sure this metal is level with this piece of wood here. If it's there, then you know it's going to fit. And then also making sure this back end is lower than the front end, but also you don't want the front end to be too high or you won't be able to put your hand in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and start that one. Then I'm going to push that down a little bit. You could put a level in here and make sure it does have some drop and make sure it's level. But I kind of just eyeball it. And I also like to reach my hand in here, make sure that there's enough room for me to get to that bobbin case area. Boom, boom, boom. Looks like the same, looks like the same. Okay. And if you're at home, this is going to be the step that, and this is your first time setting it up, this is going to be the step you're going to want to take your time on a little bit. What I like to do is not hammer them in all the way, just in case for some reason you put that machine on there and the hole doesn't line up with the knee lifter, but pretty positive it's going to because I've done this just about 15,000 times now. So I can hit them all the way in. You can also check it after you put 2 nails in. You could put your machine on this and check and make sure that hole lines up. All right, so we got 6 nails. Okay, done. Some extra nails there. Throw that in there. I'm gonna go ahead and screw this reservoir on the bottom down here. Okay. Trash over there. Putting this little peg here, this is what you lean your machine on when you tilt it back. Putting some plastic on top so I don't scar it up. Hitting it down. Doesn't always go down all the way, but it's all right. Scarred that up just a little bit, but it's okay. All right, so now we're ready to actually put the machine on this table already. Actually, no, we're gonna build the thread stand, then we're gonna do the machine. Thread stand is pretty simple. It's in this bag. We're just gonna remove this. And what I like to do is take this big nut off here with the metal washer and the rubber washer. So it should look like that. Put it right there, rubber washer, metal washer, nut. underneath and go ahead and rotate this on, just using your hand holding the nut on the bottom. Same thing with this thing, you really don't need a tool, you can just tighten it down with your hand, and it gets pretty tight. So now we got that done. This is gonna be spool stands, hardware to mount the spool stands. Dump all this out. Fun fact, the reason I'm actually shooting this video for you guys is I had to set up this machine really quick earlier today, and I was like, I have to set up another one for myself too. So I was like, why don't I just do a fast setup video for you guys? Because why do it and not record it when you can record it? So I'm putting this thread stand rod right here. You're going to do the 2 outside holes on this bracket. It's going to go thread rod, washer, lock washer, nut, tighten it down, and then you're going to put this plate on like this. And I know you guys are probably like, some of you, I mean, I give you guys the warning at the beginning, this is a fast motion video, so if it's not getting the angles you want, or you're wanting to see what it looks like when it's done prior, just fast forward and see what it looks like done if you're setting it up as I'm going, or in case, you know, some people don't watch the video all the way through, they kind of set it up as they go. So skip ahead and see what it looks like if you have questions as you're following. So now I get that on there, just like that. Oh, actually, I forgot to put my other thread plate on there. These little felt pads are nice. Pushing it down all the way, and you actually push it down until it clicks. Actually, you rotate it a little bit, and then you push it down. There you go. So it should sit flat like that. Then you're going to put it right here, and you got to go down at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and then you're going to tighten that down with a flat head or a big Phillips head, just like that. Then this little bracket is going on after this one. This is the actual thread guide rod that your thread goes through and then goes to your machine. Same concept, tightening it down. And then I'm putting this bracket here, making sure it bites halfway onto this pole and then halfway onto the top pole, like that. And this thing can swing a little bit, just like that, so you can move it around. So that's really nice. That's done. Anti-vibration cones. This is for using your big spools so they don't vibrate around and move around. Pushing that down. Okay, so now we got the thread stand done. That was easy, quick. Now, let's actually wait for this. Let's do the machine. All right, machine's next. Here's the big boy. So this is what I do with the machine is I cut both sides all the way up like that. Just like that. Hit it open like that. Put your razor blade to the side. Tilt the machine down. Throw the styrofoam over there. I was going to say, Kylie, throw the glass sound, but it already sounded bad when I threw that. Okay, so the machine's gonna be oily and nasty, so just be careful when you're picking it up. You're gonna grab, I like to grab like right here and here, kind of get it ready to get up. And then I get underneath the throat space and I grab the hand wheel and then I walk over here. Whew, that bad boy's heavy. All right. So now I can push that box out of the way, and we're on to the next steps. Thread stand, cover. This is the knee lifter. Wonder how I'm at with time. What am I at of time? 13 minutes. Okay, what did I say I was going to do it in?
25.
All right. So we have the machine here. We're going to pull the machine forward like this, expose these little holes on the back, put these little hinges on there, and then you can lean it back down. And when you get the Synchroniser, these little rubber pieces are already installed. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. If you got the motor without the synchronizer, they're not installed, so you have to install these little rubber pieces. If you wanted to shoot right here and show them, little rubber corners with nails, and the felt pad goes on top, and then you put 2 nails in the rubber pieces to hold those down. So there's that. Ugh. So now that I have that done, I'm gonna come over here. I'm unraveling my synchronizer wire here. So I'm unraveling it like that. There should be a hole in your table right here. If there isn't, you can drill a 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch hole. I think it's about a 3/4 inch maybe hole. Goes right through there. And then you're running your wire and kind of just tucking it behind the motor. You want it to be free of where the pulley is going to be. And then you're plugging it in back here. This is important because I know a lot of people ask this question. You're plugging in this wire back here, just like that. You're putting that cover on it just like that. And so now that we have that done, I can go back later on with a zip tie and zip tie that there and just do some wire management, making it look a little bit prettier. Okay, so now that we have the synchronizer hooked up, we're ready to put the belt on the machine. So I'm actually just gonna go ahead and, this belt looks funny. That'll wear in, it's just like a little piece. So I'm gonna put this around the belt or the pulley, and then I'm gonna put this around the motor pulley as well. And to do so, you're gonna lean back the machine, tilt it back, and just throw that onto that pulley like that. And so you should have that on there. And come on, get this shot right here. You should have about a 1/2 inch of play on the pulley, on the belt. So 1/2 inch that way, 1/2 inch that way. This pulley looks good. If it needs to be tightened, it's simple. It's this big bolt right here. You're gonna turn it to the left and then pull the motor back and then tighten it down. And then vice versa. If you need to loosen it, you're gonna turn it to the left, push it forward a little bit, and then tighten it down. That's all you gotta do to tighten the belt. Okay? All right, now for the fun part, we've got the thread guide that goes right here. Make sure those holes are facing to the front of the machine and just give it a little love tap, and now it'll stay in there nice and tight. Now we're gonna empty out all these bolts. Wow, that's super cool, dude. Empty out all these bolts right there. Kylie's laughing. She's embarrassed. She's embarrassed by my words. She wants to laugh, but she just can't do it. She knows she'll be heard for the first time on video. Okay, so we got those out. First thing I'm gonna do is this long thread is just an extension for a bolt to reach on the belt cover, and I'm just gonna thread that in. It's the second hole underneath this pulley. You're just gonna turn that in, and sometimes the threads are kind of hard to turn because sometimes, you know, the factory gets a little bit of paint in those threads, so just keep that in mind. Now we're throwing on the belt cover. I think we're doing pretty good, you know, considering we're teaching more than I was planning on, but I know I have to teach a little bit. So now this little back cover, this cover goes in the back. Kylie, get a shot over here because this is important. It goes like this, and then twist, like that. And then, of course, you want to make sure that that synchronizer wire is tucked away from the belt. You don't want it rubbing on the belt. So make sure that it's going through that back hole, and you can see behind the cover that it's not anywhere near that belt. So we're good. We're clear. Now I'm grabbing my flathead, and I'm grabbing my 2 long black bolts, and these 2 long black bolts are going in this bottom left corner. Back in my hand, and then I'm doing 1 more long bolt right here. And how about this, guys? If this would actually be kind of cool. If one of you guys can watch this video for the first time and then try to set it up on their own and tell me how fast they set it up, if you get anywhere near my time, I will personally give you a call and give you a high five over the phone. It's pretty cool. I was gonna say give them something, but then there's no proof of actually them doing it unless they recorded it. So if they could record it and upload it, and we could call it the 1541S Setup Challenge, that'd be kind of cool. It'd be an expensive challenge for people to compete in. They'd have to buy a 1541S. All right, so that bolt goes there, 2 long bolts there. 2 long bolts there, and then you're gonna get this bolt here. There's a lot that looks similar, but there's 2 that are bigger. Those bigger ones go, one of the bigger ones goes right here into that extension bolt. And this should thread in very simple. If it doesn't thread in perfect, then you know it's not that bolt. Let's just double check. These little bolts can sometimes make this setup the hardest, is just finding this one. Okay, this really small bolt with the umbrella looking top goes up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that one done because I know that one's there. And I have a short, I'm gonna put in the description of this video of where these bolts go, and I kind of show it really in depth. So I'm actually gonna come back to this bolt here, even though it's really not that important. I'm gonna go to these bolts up here because I know these threads are different. So I can eliminate a couple out of my way. Okay, so it's that one. The one that holds on this tensioner, these are like very circular heads and very squared off, and they're identical threads and identical screws. And these 2 hold up the thread tensioner. So I'm gonna get these out of the way, tighten that one down a little bit, then tighten this one down. I should really be using my drill. Speed up the process. And if you use a drill on these on sewing machines and stuff, set your settings so they don't over tighten. Okay, perfect. So now I'm left with 3 bolts, 1 short, 2 medium. I know those 2 mediums have to be for the last 2 holes, so that's how I found out which one goes to that side cover over there. But now you don't have to find that out because I already found that out for you. So now I'm putting these in here. This thing's not even in my drill. Okay, good. All right, so now this last flathead we know has to go here because it's the last one remaining. Perfect. So there you go. That's how you find all those bolts on that side. So now we got the thread cover on. We know that's right. We know this is good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Now we just have the knee lifter, which this is pretty simple. I'll show you how this goes. So we have this little spring here. This goes right here. And the spring has to have that indentation on showing, not in the inside. And then you just put this little screw right here. Okay. So now I'm going to tighten it down. Okay. And you can stretch this out if it's a little tough putting it on there. And so now I'm going to put this here and then put this here. And then I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to get a 13 millimeter, or actually no, it's a 10 millimeter. Perfect. You're going to come down here. And if your holes line up, this piece should go on through this little hole onto the machine. You should push it forward like that. And then you should put this piece on right here and put this piece right here. Turn this pad right here and figure out where you want it so you can go up and down. You can customize it all. So I think right about there is a good setting. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down to a little bit of an angle. Okay, that's tight. And then I'm going to tighten this down right about there. Oh, going lefty-loosey. Just right about there. And then this is very important to tighten these down because if they're not tightened down, you'll call me and be like, why is my knee lifter not working? It's because these aren't tight. So it's not actually it's not actually twisting that shaft to lift up the foot. So now that we got the knee lifter on there, I think we can stop the timer. Stop the timer. What are we at?
23 minutes.
Whew, I think I said 20 minutes. Maybe I'm off. I'm pretty sure we're done. Let me just double check. So we have the bobbin. We have the 2 needles that come with the machine. We have our sewing machine LED light strip that comes in here. I can throw the bobbin in there. Extra 2 little screwdrivers can go in there. I don't know why these Allen keys, oh, this is for the Synchroniser, but we didn't have to do that. They come on the machine when we ship them. So boom. Oh, I guess we have to put oil in there. I forgot. We did say we're gonna drop oil in there, and since it's a fast video, we can. But we're gonna consider it done. It's 23 minutes, and we're gonna put oil in there. So what you do is you poke a hole in the top of this thing, and you fill up this bottle here, just like so. Put on this little twist cap. Take off your knee lifter, like that. And then you're gonna take off this little rubber cap, check your low to high. We have our oil on the very low. Now we're gonna top off that oil and fill it up to the high. You can see it going in there, it's super cool. So now we have it filled up to the high. Now we can put that rubber cap back on. And we are good to go. Now the machine is officially set up, with the exception of one thing, which I'm sweating. Come over here and let me show you what this does. This is kind of important, but personally, I don't utilize it too much because, I don't know, I just don't. But let me show you. Right here, there is one Phillips head screw, and there's one Phillips head screw here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna back those out so that you don't see them in that little crack. You're gonna put this little belt cover on. I guess it is important, okay? I'm just, these things kind of get in the way sometimes whenever I'm working on the machine, so I don't like them because if I have to tighten my belt and stuff, they just get in the way. And also you can hear like a rubbing sound sometimes, and it's because of this. So as long as you know that, you just wanna make sure it doesn't rub against the belt, and it's fine. It's good to protect your belt from fabrics and dogs walking around with their tails around it, especially if you're sewing while things are underneath your machine. Put the belt on. Put the belt cover on. It's definitely important, actually. Yeah, throw the warning up. You need this. So now you're just going to tighten down these screws, and the belt cover's on, so we're good to go. So yeah, that is literally it, and you're pretty much good to go. I have a video on how to set up your motor and go through the speeds and comparing it with the other motor. So check out that. It's pretty simple. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys can learn a little bit from it, or you can laugh at it. You can do whatever you want. Share it with some friends who just bought this machine and want a fast-paced video. Basically just showing you how to set it up with no frills and cuts and all that stuff. So hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and drop a comment, and we'll see you next Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.